And we're rolling. We're now recording.
I know. I hear him.
Anyway, so the
turn my phone off.
Oh, okay. So yeah, this weekend, man, it was like fucking overload at the coast. So my buddy and I, Jeff, we went down to freaking Rockport. Took off on Friday, and we had he found this place down in freaking Fulton, which is I guess just outside of Rockport, called Fulton Beach Bungalows, which we when you think about it, it's like, you know, it's not like the Hilton or anything like that. So if you're one of these people that wants to go to like a resort type experience, don't go to this place.
Oh, really?
But
is
for
it
me,
more like Spartan? I mean, is it?
It's kind of Spartan, but we stayed in bungalows or cottages.
I'm looking at it right now.
So the cottage kind of, like, for me, it was kind of nostalgic. That's why it's not for everybody. You know, if you're wanting to go someplace where they've got like pristine white towels and shit like that, again, not your place. Place doesn't care about do they have all the right number of forks on the right or left hand side of whatever you're eating at. They're just, it's not a 5-star place, but it was my place. It was Jeff's place. It was fucking cool as shit for being off kind of the beaten path.
Right.
So, but it was like this little one-room cottage that that had a bathroom, had 2 beds, had a freaking kitchen, like full kitchen, and a lot of it reminded me of my grandparents' house up in East Texas. But it was everything that like we needed for what we were going to be doing up there or down there. So yeah, he freaking found this place, and price was right. The dude that owned the place was real personable. You know, again, it's, you know, he's the owner / caretaker of the place. So the pictures do it way more justice than when you get there, but again, it has a very homey feel to it.
So, do you ever see that movie called Club Paradise with Robin Williams?
Yeah. It's been a while since I've seen that.
So is it like that, where he ends up taking over a resort and it's in a war-torn country the pictures look really good, but when you get there it's like a dump?
Not quite that bad. No.
Is this where you all were right here?
Actually, that might even be the
bungalow.
No, that's not it. That's not the one. But it's it's that style, kind of that little porched reception. That actually looked like it back there.
Okay, that yellow one?
Yeah, that looked really close.
Right. Was it expensive?
It was like a $125 a night.
No, that's not bad.
No, and tell you what, that was kind of their sign. There was the mermaid thing was the theme all freaking weekend long. So anytime we went into like a gift shop, because Jeff was getting stuff for his kids, anytime we went somewhere, I was snapping pictures of fucking mermaid statues.
That's funny. There's a lot of them, huh?
Yeah, actually, if you go back like 2.
Okay.
No, god damn it, that's not it either. I'd snap photos.
Okay.
But it was a badass place, and next time I go down there, I'm staying there again.
You should have took a video of it.
You could probably string together what I did, but it was the place we stayed. It was underutilized for what it was capable of. If you go down there with like a family of 4, maybe they have accommodations for something a little bit larger, but for just 2 guys, this bungalow that we were in was fucking more than enough. You know, it was actually like being in a
no
small
kids?
Dorm. Huh?
No kids?
No, not this, because Jeff's kids were like at the ex-wife's this week, and
gotcha.
And actually, what's funny is his oldest has turned into be quite the freaking volleyball player, and he and the sand volleyball team or guys that he runs around with, they had some kind of tournament down in Bolivar. So he was on a coast, just different coast.
Gotcha, further up, yeah.
Yeah. So, but it's like been the first time I've been down to Rockport, at least over to that part of the coast, in like almost 30 years. And with everything that was going on, because naturally when we're driving down, Jeff and I are talking about the shit in the news, Now, that's about the one and only rare instances where you're gonna hear me talk about the shit in the news. As far as like taking my friggin' opinion and posting it to social media or whatever, really not gonna happen. You know, I'm aware, I read and shit like that, but that was kind of like how we occupied time driving down there. But once you got down to freaking Rockport, it was all about food, fishing, drinking beer, drinking wine, and just finding a place to just veg. Man, there was so many fucking bike riders running around there.
Bicycles?
Yeah. Just because some of the roads that were run alongside the coast, I mean, they're just, that community is like really built for that.
Did this place get hit by Harvey? Did he say?
He did bring it up, but if there was damage there, we couldn't see it. Now, we were also down there to see my buddy Eric, the guy that you met at the hospital when I was surgery. So he lives further north, up more towards Lamar.
Oh, okay.
Which is on the other side of the bridge. So we got a chance to visit with him, and he took us to some of the sites that are, you know, over there, like something called Big Tree, this is like the largest fucking tree I'd ever seen. It actually looked like it came out of like a fantasy tale, or hell, even the trees that you would see in that show Game of Thrones, where this thing just looked ancient. But yeah, I got a chance to meet up with him, and we got to eat with him and his family that night. And they turned us on to this place over in Rockport called Panjo's Pizza, which I never heard of.
Oh yeah, I've heard of it.
Oh, I'm telling you, I even struggled with this conclusion that I came up with, but my conclusion right now is it is the best pizza that I can say that I've ever had.
They have a reputation.
I'm like, I don't know what the fuck they did to this thing, but I'm like, holy shit, this is some awesome, and I can't tell you what it is about it. I just don't want to put the damn thing down.
Right. No, Panjo's has got a reputation.
Really? So I didn't even know that. But I'd never heard of it, and when I looked it up, apparently it's sort of a popular place. So is it like a
it's a destination that everybody, hey, if you're in Fulton, stop at Panjo's. That's, you always hear that, or wherever it is.
Oh, really? So I saw that they had like a location. Okay, so they had the location in Rockport, and then we're probably going to go back down to that area probably in like next 3 weeks, a month or so. We're probably going to stay like the Port Aransas or Corpus Christi, or another area, just so you can kind of A/B the situation. Hey, this place was better than this other place, or it has these other accommodations that this one didn't. But as far as like outdoorsy stuff, going fishing and shit, this is definitely the place to go.
Oh yeah, a lot of people are. I have a lot of friends that live like in Matagorda, which is just further up.
Further north?
Yeah, north.
Yeah, so we went through Matagorda.
And so so I've been there a few times. It's pretty cool.
So, but anyway, so we headed back yesterday, and I tell you what, it was so different. When you're coming back, it's like for me, I kind of looked at it as, okay, you're coming back to like the real world, and you start listening to either the shit that's either coming across on the radio or the stuff that's streaming on your Facebook pages, or your social media in general, of just all the fucking bullshit that's going on around the U.S. with these protests. And I didn't even know what this fucking I saw the C.H.A.Z, and then I saw another friend of ours post something on Facebook about Raz, and I didn't even know what the fuck Raz was. And it turns out he's the mayor of C.H.A.Z.
Yeah, it's basically a bunch of Renfest people that just got together, and they're organized by they're being organized and used by a bunch of socialists, but that's what's going on with it right now. You've got a political activist movement going on, and this one happens to take traction in Seattle. When you have complicit mayor, governor, whatever you want to call it, the civic government up there, to allow that to happen, you're going to see, I mean, this rapper never had a job. He, as a matter of fact, I think his apartment was renting it out as an Airbnb for income. No, seriously.
No,
that's what he was doing. So you have, you have this, but what I think is funny is within the second day into this occupation,
right,
they're asking for food. So they're asking for vegan food, tofu, cigarettes, body wash, pants. There's like 15 things on a list they were asking for.
Because I remember saying something to you earlier when you were telling me about the whole development of C.H.A.Z. And the first thing, the funny side of me is like, I wonder if this is how fucking Israel started.
Right. So. Well, they call it the Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone. And they took over the one of the precinct offices in downtown Seattle because the police chief was ordered to stand down and leave.
Right.
So, and it's funny because the media puts it out there as if it's a street fair. They were talking about taco trucks and...
So I'm going to ask you a question about that one thing you just said about being ordered to stand down.
Yeah, she was told to stand down.
So one of the things that kind of occurred to me was when somebody tells you to not do your job, and if your job is law enforcement, are you telling them to not enforce your local ordinances or just any ordinances that are within the sovereign U.S. territory?
It's a good question.
Because I'm thinking, how the fuck are you even authorized to say something like that?
Well, yeah.
But this is kind of a Fantasy Island kind of...
This
is a Fantasy Island script.
I'm looking at this. I'm trying to figure out... there's more going on than you see because... So it started out as C.H.A.Z. It was Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone. Now it's called CHOP, which is Capitol Hill Organized Protest. So somebody's clearly coaching the vernacular on how they want to present this. It's funny because the clips were like, we're going to raise our own food, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. But there's a lot of video that you're not getting shown on.
Like, wait, save that Dixie cup. We're going to use it to harvest.
Well, not just harvest, but to grow things in.
Yeah. And so red Solo cups really do have a purpose.
Right,
now.
in their community. But I don't know. It's kind of it's a disturbing thing that's going on, from my mind anyway. I mean, right. I'm sick and tired of watching all the news and complicit news that thinks that this is okay. Because for me it's not okay, because what they're doing is they're going to local businesses within this zone. They put up a perimeter,
right?
Okay, and they claim to have armed guards. Okay,
what if they're shaking anybody down?
They are. Really? So there's videos of them, and they're going into local businesses saying, "Hey, look, is
it a tax?
Yeah, $500 a week."
Yeah, I saw how the mob works.
Yeah, that's exactly. I mean, everybody compares it to like a third world country kind of thing, and that's really what it is. You've got a bunch of, and I hate to say it, but it's the truth. They make no contribution to society other than noise.
Right.
Okay. I mean, they're a cacophony of just chatter.
Right.
Know,
they're the balled up fist when they see something. Now,
sure.
I will say this.
They're spoiled fucking kids is what they are.
A balled up fist that happened because of the whole George Floyd situation. I will say, hey, was a balled up fist and deserved? Yeah. I will say that, hey, does somebody have the right to go, that fucking bullshit that just happened is wrong? Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Saying that somebody can't have an opinion, because not saying that is saying what this Derek, whatever the fuck his name, that Siobhan dude, what he did was okay, and I'm not gonna say that, but going off the fucking rails and then creating a sovereign territory inside of a city that already had the confidence of the people to become a fucking city, and draft ordinances suddenly get taken away by a bunch of mouthy group of people. No, you don't get to fucking do that.
Well, they're already falling apart within their own ranks. They're having lots of issues internally. It's funny because it's only been a few days.
So all I just heard there was just destabilization.
Yeah, that's all it is.
Which is what you want to do.
Yeah, and it's Man, I don't know. I mean, I get so aggravated with it. Let me come back around to this because we went back to East Texas for the weekend ourselves just to get away from this insanity.
Uh-huh.
And you can't escape it because it's everywhere.
As far as like opinions.
Yeah, and here's the problem with people with opinions: they're not very well educated. I wrote something to a friend the other day. His daughter she's liberally educated.
Uh-huh.
Okay, she grew up in the Midwest. She knows what values are, and when she went to college, she became a problem because she started like telling their parents that, hey, look, you guys are antiquated. Your views are wrong, and you're listening to this kid going, dude, you were just 14 just not too long ago. You know what I mean? And I know how this kid was in school.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Love her to death, but she just doesn't have the life experience to understand what's going on. Her father is very well off.
Right.
Pretty much a standard in the community.
Right.
Okay. You see them growing up, and you see them going to college, and when they come back, they start challenging their elders. And here's the sad thing: you could be young, you could be educated, but you don't have any experience. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have any knowledge to base anything off of. All you're coming back now with is a bunch of angst, and now you want to tell your parents how wrong they are. And so anyway, we were back home, and we don't have that problem in our family in the sense of, because everybody's pretty much hardworking conservative people.
Mm-hmm.
What was funny, though, is many, many years ago when I first married into the family, a lot of them were Democrats. Okay? And you have to understand that the Democratic Party today is not the Democratic Party of 25 years ago.
We hear that all the time.
Yeah, but it's true, though.
Yeah.
It really is. So what's ended up happening now is that they're older and they have kids, and a lot of their friends, so we'll just say they're in their 20s. All of them are in their 20s.
Mm.
And so all their in-laws, they're all married, and it's a very diverse group. I mean, it's not a bunch of white people. Okay? It's a very diverse mixture of people in these families, and you have this one that decides to circumvent a child's birthday party to make political activism criticisms.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, you're gonna have to flesh that out a little bit.
So the birthday party was for a 2-year-old niece, or great niece, I guess you'd call her, for us. It's our nephew's kids. And they always throw some of the coolest parties for their kids, and they invite all, they rent these big jump houses with swimming pools and stuff. I mean, it's a big deal. And so
that's very extravagant.
It is. Okay. On a farm, you have the room to do that.
Right.
And so a lot of the in-laws and friends that come in from that surrounding community, they pretty much are of like mind. But this one decided that she was going to scold a bunch of these people for their beliefs. Because now my nephew has a Trump 2020 flag flying at the front gate of the farm.
Okay.
He has one on the barn. That's his right to do that.
Yeah.
His father-in-law shows up in red, white, and blue overalls with a Trump hat on. Okay. So this is what you get. But then you have a little bit of everything else all around you. And so instead of just holding her tongue, she decides she's going to get on this platform. She went on a 2-hour rant.
So she was trying to get on Christmas lists.
Yeah, apparently. And her whole thing was just about how intolerant everybody is and how we need to be supporting this, and we can't be friends if you're not. And it fits the narrative, basically, of what they're telling people about intolerance. For a group that's saying that we're not tolerant, they're pretty intolerant themselves.
Right.
And so anyway, we were there, and we were... I'm not going to get into it with anybody. First of all, I'm not going to argue politics with anybody that's dumber than me.
Right.
Okay? I'm just not, and I'm not going to do it with some 20-year-old because I'm not going to take getting in my face very well. I can have a discussion respectfully and quietly, but they don't want the discussion. They want
obedience.
Yeah, they want you to comply, and it's like, look,
And it really kind of depends on who's delivering the message.
Yeah.
You can have somebody who can thoughtfully lay out whatever it is that their philosophy is. And the thing is if you just take it at its base value. This is a philosophy.
Yeah.
This is what I believe. And if you're basing it off of whatever observations that helped you kind of shape this philosophy, that's fine. But taking it and being like fire and brimstone in somebody's face, saying that because you don't have this, you're...
Well, they use shaming. All the techniques they tell you you can't use or shouldn't use or not supposed to use, they use them.
Right.
You know, and shaming somebody for their beliefs is fundamentally wrong. When you're, you know, within your space, you are or should be able to exercise your beliefs. Okay? Pretty tolerant with that. But when you start bringing it out at inappropriate times, say like, I don't care if you're a heterosexual or a homosexual couple, making out graphically up front of children is not a good idea. It's not decent.
Yeah, well, okay.
But here, let me finish though. So if you correct the heterosexual one, you know, it's kind of a, oh, you know, okay, what, you know, the PDA, yeah, stop that. But if you do the militant homosexual ones, I will tell you, most homosexuals I know are very respectful. They're really decent people, and I don't get how anybody feels like they can interject themselves into any activity they're doing if it's not affecting them.
Yeah,
just leave them alone. Let's live and let live. But what you get is you get these young kids that don't know how to control their anger.
Right.
And so they want to get loud and they want to get in your face. And what they want to do is they want to get louder and louder and louder. Now they're trained by everything they see in the media to be that way. It's not about having a decent discussion. It's not about resolution.
Nothing is metered.
Nothing at all. And so it gets pretty intolerable, and so especially for us older ones.
Yeah.
Where it's like, look, you know, you've had your run. We've sat and listened to your shit and to shut up.
Right.
So anyway, that was kind of an interesting evening before the birthday party.
Right.
During the party, everything was kind of cool. It was all about the kids, but